is taking that trajectory, it is very important and necessary that you equip yourself financially. Unlike back then, when we could talk about Manta's finances and equipping one, at a very later stage, things have changed. Today, we say that we need to equip our children with skills at a very tender age. Start talking to them about, saving, start speaking to them how best they can be able to acquire money, in small skills that you also conduct in your own special ways. And so times have changed. It is even crucial when you get to that level of, you being a youth. It is important that you get to understand that it's all right, probably today I do not have finances, but it's just a matter of time and I'll be loaded. How do I get to manage my finances? So today we'll be discussing youth and finances. Indeed, a special show for the youth out there. So if you're here, make sure that you grab your pen and your paper, because we have a financial specialist who will also be taking us through this particular conversation to get us understand just how best can we handle this. And I am glad to have him join us this morning as we ponder the same and we get to understand some more. Alexander Kahoro is a financial expert. Good to have you.
Thank you so much.
And technically more or less in that bracket of a youth.
Yeah, sure.
And so, sometimes we look at youths who understand so much in terms of monies and we tend to envy them because, well, such is not what we were privileged to get. Yeah. And so at this point, I think it will resonate more as you speak to fellow youths on just how best it is to understand your finances, to even plan, even before you get to that point where you have money. Sure. And so I'd love for us to start with the basic. Just how important is it for the youths to be alive to how best they can handle their finances?
All right. Thank you so much, Rinda. My name is Alexander Kahorongodo.
Yes.
I am a branch operations officer with Fortune Sacco here at Nairobi. We are based at the junction of River Road and on Angara Street.
All right.
So when you come there, you can get to see us. So thank you, Linda, for having me and TV47. It's a topic that I'm passionate about. I've been with microfinances, I've worked with the youths, and currently I'm with a SACCO, and this is the best time to discuss the matters of finance and the youth. Yep.
All right, so best time it is, but just how best or how good is it for us to discuss these matters?
You find that as a youth, once you get maybe your first employment, the first thing is to buy the things that you desire. The car that you'd wish, the place that you'd like to stay. And you find that some of these mistakes that we make using our first paycheck later come to haunt us in the future. So I think the best thing is to equip us young people with saving skills which can help us for the future and saving for tomorrow, so that we can have like investments which are earning. As you also earn to get that income, we also have some money which are saved aside, earning for us with an interest.
Okay, at what point then one would want to ask, most of the youth will tell you, why should I speak or why should I think matters investments when I do not have money? You understand the, the situation in the country in terms of, levels of employment pretty much low. We still talk of how best we can create jobs for our very own, but we also appreciate the fact that, most of the youths are getting into the creative space, and, they do not wait for those moments where, the government will provide jobs for them. They're getting into this space. But before they get to it, most of them will argue, what is the point of having this knowledge? I do not have the money. At what point should one now start equipping themselves? At the point where, they've not gotten the money yet and so they're preparing themselves, or just when they start now realizing these, interests?
I would think the best thing is to equip yourselves before you have the money.
How logical would that be? How much sense would that bring on board in terms of preparing for the future?
I think preparation is key.
Yes.
And once you prepare enough before the money, you find that once immediately you start acquiring or earning some income, you'll have no stress. And we have a lot of spaces which are giving us financial skills, personal finance. We also have even support groups on how you can manage whatever income that you might get. So I think the best thing is let's prepare early enough so that when we earn or we start getting this income, then it will be able to help us putting it into the right basket.
All right, when we talk about preparing, what exactly are we looking at in terms of ensuring that, yes, there's that financial literacy, one, and that financial literacy is then instrumental at that point when we start handling money?
I would think first, I know as a youth, each has a goal. What do you want to achieve? Then each goal, maybe I want in this, how many years to have acquired a car, I want to have my own place. So I think goals shape the way,
Okay.
the way we would wish to have the money. Yep.
Well, at a tender age, while we could say that goals could shape that, sometimes we have our goals, well set, but in future you realize that we probably go, a different direction in regards to those goals.
Yeah.
With the kind of literacy that we equip ourselves, are there any changes or adjustments that would be needed?
Yeah, sure. Sometimes we set our goals along the way.
Yes.
There are a lot of
At
factors.
25, I want to be this, I want to be this, and then before you know it, it is not that.
Yeah, it is not. So one thing I've realized, like personally, having that goal, it's also good to have like a mentor or a financial expert who can be walking through you the journey, and then you can be fast tracking. Maybe the goals that you have set, are you achieving them? Are you in the way? Are you in the direction of that? So once you realize maybe you have lost track, it is easy to get back. So I think the best thing is analyze yourself time to time, maybe 6 months, 1 year, so that you can be able to know, are you on track? If you are not on track, you can quickly be on the right place. Yep.
All right, as a financial advisor, what does it take to get to walk through, young tax into understanding matters finances?
One thing, as young people, you have to understand their interest.
Okay.
So currently there is the digital world, so you have to be up to whatever is going on. Then the digital space, the creative skills. We have actors, we have all those people who are in the creative industry. And the best thing is get to know their interest. What do they wish to acquire? Some of them, they want equipment so that they can be able to work well. People who are in photography, they need good cameras, which come at a cost. So I think understand their interest, then work up on that. Yeah.
The practicability of things are pretty crucial in this stage or so. And I know it's good to prepare, as always they've said in every other field that you'd want to venture into. Sometimes it's good to do research and prepare and all that. But again, also, sometimes with finances, money is necessary. The actual aspect of it, the balancing of the sheets is pretty much necessary for one to probably get to understand some of this. And I think I will acknowledge that. That at some point in time, yes, someone would tell you, learn this about finances and everything, but it never made sense when the money was not there. So when we look at these lessons and these, processes at an early stage, what is the practicability of it when there's really no money?
Yeah, I understand when there is no money, it becomes difficult. But again, looking at the experiences, maybe of our friends, or what is going on, like we had the COVID, people are affected. So if you had no savings set aside, jobs were lost. So I think based on whatever is happening around, you can be able to see that it is really necessary to have these skills.
For instance, you tell me it's important to save, it's important to invest in a SACCO.
Yeah.
But I do not even have the starting capital, the starting amount of money that is about, say, 1,500 to get to join a SACCO.
Yeah.
How will that make sense to someone who does not even look at the future as promising? And in the sense that they would probably incorporate this knowledge, and when time comes, they will indeed capitalize on the same.
I think sometimes mention of a goal, and I've met people who are at lowest moment.
Yeah.
And the best thing is understand the person. What do they want to achieve? Then break it down. I have some youth I've engaged. They are opening an account with 50 shillings, starting with, but with time they keep on adding until the minimum share is required. Like here at Fortune, we don't remit. how much do you have? You have 100, you have 200. We have even those hawkers who sell clothes there. So we encourage them, come to us, start saving. We will not request for 5,000, 2,000 let go. Just open an account, you just need an ID. Once you open, then let's work together in this journey. So you find that even maybe like for us, the opening balance is 1,000 shillings. So if you're putting 100, 200 shillings, you might not even know when that amount is. So I think the best thing is, let's break down those goals that they have. Then let's show them that it is possible to achieve them. Then with that, you also inspire them. They feel inspired. They feel it is easy to get to where they want to.
What are the basics that then one would incorporate as a financial, say trainer or, guider or expert, as you're trying to, first of all, incorporate and understand the goals and the ideas of a certain group or a certain individual who would love to get advice from you? What are some of the basics in terms of the knowledge that you'd start feeding them? Because then we understand, even as a baby, you do not just feed the same meals, step by step. So what are some of the basics that some of these youths should start picking up from, maybe say teenagers or even the tender young ones?
I think one of the key basics is any money that you get on your hand, have a certain percentage to save. Don't eat it all. The other thing is discipline. You also need discipline, because remember, you're working on something, and it needs persistence. Sometimes the income is low, so discipline is also key. And also commitment. We also need a commitment to whatever we intend to achieve. And lastly, take a track. Be on track. Maybe I said, maybe by the end of the year, I need to have accumulated like 50,000, 20,000, and small steps also.
Okay.
Small steps. Let's walk slowly until we get there.
All right. Increasingly, we see a huge number of students and youthful figures, teenagers running into debt. And today we had one of the newspapers highlighting just what really could have informed the fact that most of the people now are not able to enjoy the mobile banking, privileges on matters debt currently, because of some of the things that they never did right. Well, some of them being the fact that you buy this line, unakopa kwa hii, alafu unatoroka, you close that line, you don't pay this debt. One, what informs this? Two, how do we get our young ones off this hook at a time when they have already gotten into it? They probably understand the sweetness and they have experienced the dangers too.
I think one challenge that we are having as a country, I wish we learned this in school. That is financial literacy, financial planning, and it should be in our syllabus or our curriculum. Let's start teaching our kids from a tender age. Why do I need to save a coin? Why do I need to even whatever, maybe the expenses? Why do based on the income that I'm getting, the money that I'm getting through my hand, at least a little bit of it should be put into a savings account. Then with the issue of the CRB, it has greatly affected.
Yes.
That comes with also the life. You see, the YOLO, you only live once. So maybe you're in a bar with your friends, So you find that when the bill comes, you just go to Mshwari, borrow, and that will be it. So the next thing will be now changing the line so that you can continue with the same trend. And I think the way we use whatever we have matters, and that's what we need to impact on our kids.
All right. It is interesting also to note that with the current generation, there's that strong urge for them to get to learn, matters finances. They are really out there, trying to quench their thirst on financial literacy.
Sure.
And then one would want to ask, what informs this excitement and this desire and need? Also, with the very same statistics that are out here, is that in as much as maybe there's some positivity that comes along with that, is that some of them just get into that so that they know how to manage themselves, especially with this kind of debts that they incur. How then do we incorporate this knowledge to a point where we know very well it will be helpful, as opposed to the fact that, some of them would use the same knowledge to run into, financial distress?
So I think based on the statistics which has been there, I think the best thing for the youths, or for us,
Yes.
is keep on, keep on impacting knowledge. There are a lot of materials that you can learn. We have newspapers, we have magazines, and also internet. There are a lot of all these financial experts that tell us on the best way to keep our financial and also consumption, reduce our consumption, so that we can have something to save.
All right.
Yeah.
So you sleep, I don't want to say sleep poor today. Well, you sleep without money today, and boom, the next day, you probably got yourself into a creative activity that has awarded you so much money. Or maybe you took part in a certain contest, and boom, you have about 5 million at your disposal. Money you have never touched in life as a young tech. There is family, there's people, there's so much pressure around you. How do you manage this as a young one?
All right.
Yes.
So I think the best thing, you have that money. One step will be sit down, plan. Because again, a lot of failures are caused by not planning.
Yes.
You have that huge amount of money. Even for the creatives, like you do a certain work, you are paid a huge check. Once you receive that check, with no planning, you start using that money. And I'm sure you can blow even 100,000 in a day. So I think the best thing, sit down, plan. How do you want to spend this money? How do I want to spend this money? Then once you plan, then you start working towards it. Maybe you are in education. I want to complete my master's. What you set it aside for this. Then you have the parents. How much would you wish to the share to give them? Then we have now the improving yourself. Maybe you want a good car. Maybe such all that. And then again, it is also good to note that money that you receive, set it aside so that it can work for you. Like for us at Fortune Circle, we have investment accounts which earns interest. Like we have an account called Gotv account. This account is more of a fixed account, but it allows you to deposit time to time. Okay. So once you set such money aside, imagine earning 10% per annum on the money set. So you'll find that that interest, you can be using it or keeping it so that you can build the savings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so savings, interest strategies, and credits, the youth would really love to understand this. And sometimes you're told, well, you probably could be having a monthly salary that is good enough to keep you going. And you ask yourself, how then do I invest, even with the little that I have, so that I'm able to secure my future? And most of the people, will tell you, however much you do not want to hear this, however much you don't want to run into debts, it's almost inevitable, and in most cases, it could be vital for one to incur loans, one to delve into that line of credit. Would it be advisable to incorporate this knowledge and literacy in the minds of youths in terms of, is it wise to proceed and get credit? Is it wise to run into the land of loans for as long as you know very well that you could be able to sustain the same?
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because first, I wouldn't advise for credit first, because I think you ask for a credit with a purpose.
Yeah.
So the best thing, and you find most of the time, we have credit cards. What is the purpose of that? Whatever credit that you wish to take, what is the purpose of it? Is it to buy an asset? Is it for lifestyle? You see. So because again, no money is enough.
Yeah.
Even a person earning $1 million is still complaining. So I think the best thing, and this is one thing I wish I learned, and also it's a lot of people can relate with. The best thing is, once you receive that first paycheck,
yes,
start saving right away. And the best way I've seen it, don't let money to come into the account so that you can save. Sometimes discipline, you can have deduction at source. Maybe you are employed. Ask your HR to be deducting like 10,000 to be going into a circle or a bank or such. So that the money that you get, it's just for your purpose. Already you have deducted the savings. Again, for credit, I think it would be best for an asset, because again, an asset gains value. Yeah. And this an asset in this case, maybe a land.
Right.
A motor vehicle will not encourage as you are beginning your career. So, but along the way, you might feel that you need. But the best thing, start saving as immediately. And also, if you feel that you are not disciplined enough, let it be deduction at source. Also, you can have like a group. We have chamas of young people. I'm also in chama, and we are doing so much. So the best thing is, if you feel that maybe achieving a certain goal is hard, you can join people of like-minded. Then you'll work together.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's this, evident gap, and I think I started by addressing it.
Yeah.
I do not know how we get to curb that. How do we get to, get off that, gap? In the sense that, the oldies will always have this thing that they paint in mind, that they think the teens, the youths should learn in terms of finances, and in most cases they tend to limit so much to them. Just how then do we bridge this gap at a time when things are moving very fast? And I think I started by saying technology is here, so much is changing. People are so much into the world of, employing themselves, self-employment, as opposed to waiting for, employments from the government.
So I think the best thing, we can have like policies.
Okay.
Which will guide us at an early stage. Like for us who used to receive help, the Higher Education Loans Board, I think they can start with that. Let's be trained, let's have that knowledge, whatever money that we get. Because you find that you used to blow that amount in a week and you are left the other time suffering in campus. So I think we can have, and we have like youth fund, they can incorporate policies. Maybe before they give this money out, they first equip us with information on once you get this is how you do it, and you'll become successful in that. So let's have policies, let's have organizations that are into youth coming up so strong and encouraging people. This is the way. This is why you need to save.
All right, incredible. The few who are lucky enough to have money in circulation already, or our finances in existence, will tell you that some of them would say, okay, well, then this is money. Someone will start up a business, another one will say, okay, let me save this one and all that. Let's speak to those who are, one, planning to start up businesses or have already started the businesses, in terms of managing these finances, and equally in terms of making reviews that will be helpful to ensure that you make gains, you make interest. Because I have had a sitting with a consultant in regards to matters businesses and gaining of interest, and they told me, I mean, in most cases you find that people are running, like you can literally be running a shop for years and you're not making any profit, but just because a shilling is coming in, there's that feel that there's money that is circulating. I mean, how do we get to sit them down, speak to them, that when they set up such, in the end, they end up making these profits that would be beneficial in terms of making them better people financially?
For those starting businesses, for the young people, I think the first thing is you can do an analysis. You are starting at this stage.
Okay.
I've started with 50,000. And again, it's also good to note, once you're in business, it calls for a lot of denials. Maybe the lifestyle have to change. You have to lower down expenses as much as possible, because you might find that the income that you're getting from the business, you are using it to fund maybe your lifestyle or such. So first do analysis. How you are started at what stage? Maybe I've invested 50,000. Then maybe you can. We have a lot of online apps that you can be gauging even the sales, the expenses, and eventually will give you the income at the end of it all. The other thing is you can have a mentor. There are people who are ahead of you in that business. How have they achieved? How have they become to be that successful? Pick the good things in them and learn with them. So I think the best thing is it's always good to review constantly. Review time to time, 3 months, 2 months. I started with 50,000, and by 3 months, where am I? Is it at 20? Then you realize maybe there's something wrong. Either the goods that you are getting, is it at a high cost? You see. So I think, and those reviews will inform for the future decision in terms of the growth of the business. Yeah.
All right. Well, COVID is here with us. So much has happened. So much has changed. Adjustments have been made. in the youthful angle, do you suppose then that out of COVID we learn of the numerous adjustments that could be necessary in the event that we'd want our youths grow up, with that literacy on matters finances, and they get to a point where in the event that there's crisis, they do not end up taking themselves to square one just because they did not know how best they can manage the situation?
Yeah, that is very important. And you find that, like the COVID, a lot of people have learned the hard way. And one thing I'm really pushing is have an emergency fund account where you can be setting funds aside, an account that you have knowledge, so that when such times come, then you can use such money to help you stay afloat. The other thing is lifestyle. I think we really need to, however much you want a good life, you want to live once a lot. There are a lot of things. Maybe like for the youth, maybe somebody who has not started a family. Maybe after a few years you'll start a family. So you wouldn't wish to bring kids or children, then they find you with nothing. So I think the best thing is let the stages of life also direct you or give you direction to where you are going. So an emergency fund is necessary. For those who are starting families, we have junior accounts. So you can start saving for your kid as a day old, so that immediately he starts school or she starts school, you just be going, doing a check and remitting to whatever. So again, for medical insurance, we have NHF, such, so that those issues cautions us, maybe for unexpected. Maybe when you are sick, you don't have to use the money saved so that you can get so I think the best thing, let's have emergency fund account. Let's start early in terms of planning for the future.
Okay, as parents or as guardians, if you're saving for your children, at what stage then should they have the knowledge of the existence of this, that this is a special account for you, and in this account then you can start something, you can go out there and use it to create some level of opportunities and bring you that stability, in a wise way, or so to speak.
All right. So like here at Fortune, for our junior account, we call it the money. And once you acquire it, we usually have we have a correction box where maybe at around 4 years, using those coins that are in the house for the changes, you can start encouraging your kid. Once you get this money, or maybe I give you for sweets, you can decide, no, let me not buy sweets. Let me put it in the account.
Okay.
So through that, they will see the need to save, and once you accumulate, you take your kid with you to the bank.
Okay.
Then you give it to the teller or somebody, so you keep it. So, and they will keep growing. They will see the sense of, why do I need to save this coin?
I would want to imagine that kids are very interesting, but in as much as they save and have so much, sometimes they'd always want to know, so after I have saved, then what? How do you incorporate these sweetness and this knowledge of the benefits of having this proper financial literacy to these lessons that are there, so that they get to understand the importance of this? Because in most cases, you see, you want to understand the end goal. And I keep, talking about this experience of mine where one of a very close relative was always constantly with me. Those moments when you get jobs very early and you're still tender and you're still excited, you want to buy dresses every other time. Sure. This person was not there to tell me, it's important that you save, it's important that you venture into this. But years later is when they tell me, I hope you save. And then I was like, I wish you told me this 5 years back. Maybe I would have been very firm. The numerous times I have seen insurance people approaching me, and indeed I had this money at my disposal, sure, but it felt like these people just want to con me into something that would not be sustainable. So how do we incorporate this sweetness and this information that after all said and done, these are the benefits that come out of this?
One, we'll go by let's by teaching them, maybe because they are the benefits of saving. One, you have the interest, the stability.
Yes.
So I think the best thing, let's sell the benefits to them. And also ensure that, like, once you are stable, you are ensure that, if you sit around and I have 100,000 kept somewhere, so you'll be stable in terms of whatever comes, you are good, and also the interest earned on the money saved. By the end of the year or a certain period, I'll get a certain interest. Okay. So I think those two things they are motivating factor in terms of why I need to save. Yeah.
Where do they get some of this information? Because it's not all of us that are privy to this information. It's not all of us that have access to financial experts. Some of us would argue that these are expensive ventures, and so you choose not to even bother yourself. Just how much information is at the disposal of the youths in terms of getting themselves to that literacy level of matters finances?
I think as per now, the information is less. Again, where do I seek this information? Yes. So, and I think it can start, or it's a narrative that we need to start. For the youths, we have the youth groups at the local level, from the sub-chief, local chiefs. Let's have those youths gathered and people coming and informing or giving them why it is necessary. So I think let's start at the grassroots. Let it start at schools, both primary, secondary, also in campus. We are, while in campus, you are preparing yourself for the corporate world. I think a lot of people miss that opportunity to have been equipped with the skills necessary. And they find that people are learning into that. You are in good job, but at the end of the month, I think by second of
you have nothing. You paid all the debts. Now you have to start.
You now start
borrowing again.
And with that, I've seen you cannot be at peace. Even career growth, you will stagnate because again you stress. Any time you have no peace of mind, I'm sure you cannot be able even to perform at work. So I think at all those stages, it is very necessary to have people who are informing them, who are educating them, and telling them why this is necessary. Yeah.
Live within your means is one thing that you're constantly told. It's okay.
Yeah, sure.
It's okay to desire to have a very beautiful dress, but I mean, at the end of the day, after getting that dress, then what? Yeah. You run into debt. I think it's important that you look at some of these checks and balances. And again, most of our parents really fear allowing their children to manage finances. Even the simplest of coins that you'd find in the house, you're like, it is a taboo for a little girl or a little boy to be seen with money. I think times are changing, and people are running away from such.
Absolutely.
Once in a while, allow them to handle the money and see how best they can do that. All right, so as we get to a close, Alexander, what is this one thing that you'd want to tell the youth out there in terms of ensuring that they're well equipped financially?
Okay. So one, as a youth, I would wish to tell all my youth that one, we need patience, because that is one thing that is affecting us. You want to have it all at a go. I think the best thing is, I need this car. Yes, I need it, but sustainability. Can I be able to sustain this car for a month or two? So I think patience is key. Let's have that stages. The first thing is maybe equip your career. The next stage is have your life in stages. Then get a mentor or get a financial expert, and there are so many. The other thing is a financial partner as well. Circles, we are coming so strong because early days, circles were for maybe the old people, etc. So like Fortune Circle, we are pushing to have the youth on board, and we have exciting products that encourages them to join us. So the best thing, have that financial partner that will walk through, somebody who can understand your needs. Like when you join Fortune, you find that at the point of registration, we already know. This is Linda, she's into media, what. So even the
steps to walk
so even the products that we are offering, they are suited for whatever career path you are in. So I think have that financial partner whom you can walk through towards the journey.
Thank you so much, Alexander. And while we could say that information could be minimal out here, I think it's also so much, at your disposal in comparison to what was there during, the former times. And so it is important that you take advantage of that. Go out there, ask question, sometimes you will not, you will end up, of course, appreciating the fact that you even had the confidence and the courage to proceed and ask. There's so much that is out here that would be helpful, for the few coins that you could be having. And, one person once told me, take care of the pennies. The big money, the notes and all this will take care of themselves. And I think I agree to that. In most cases, we say, ni shilingi moja tu, sijui nini nini. But if you take care of that, the others will fix themselves. And trust you me, you will not have that financial distress that we always talk about. It was good having you, Alexander Kuhoro, who's a financial expert with Fortune Sacco, and we're looking forward to have more and more conversations on matters of finances that are indeed dear to us. I do not go without reminding you again, it is the month of love, it is the week of love, the weekend is all about Valentine's, and Morning Cafe has goodies for you. Look at the screen, we have a trip to Mombasa. Mizizi Africa Homes is awarding you that courtesy of Morning Cafe. Simple steps to go through, and you'd be able to get this trip. Share the poster on your timeline. This particular poster that you see right here, it is all over our social media platforms. Use the hashtag below, that is hashtag Morning Cafe, hashtag TV47, hashtag Love Wins. Then tag TV47 on your Facebook page or on the particular platform that we're talking about. And of course, the post that gets the most likes on Facebook gets to win this trip. We have 2 trips. That is courtesy of Morning Cafe and courtesy of Mizizi Africa Homes. So make sure that when it's Friday, you will be among the number. And that is not all. We still have more goodies. Valentine's Cake House will be giving us lots of cakes for you. So that morning, we'll be asking you simple questions, and we allow you that chance to celebrate your loved one. Cakes also speak love. So at this particular time, you'll have a beautiful cake from Valentine's Cake House where you get to celebrate with your loved one. You enjoy it. Your mom, your dad, that one person that you call your fiance, you call your loved one. It is your chance to allow them that moment of celebration together. And we'll also be having UIP that is giving you a plot for your Valentine. So it is that time